Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Bookbinders. I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Sarah. Today we're analyzing Candy Necklace by... That sounded so peppy.
Lana Del Rey.
By Lana Del Rey.
Jean Baptiste.
Oh, I definitely said it wrong. If it's Baptiste, then I definitely said it wrong. Oh my god. Apologies, John. You have a pretty voice. No, he does.
He does.
He has a beautiful voice.
It's very deep.
Yeah, and it complements Lana's amazingly. Almost reminds me of The Weeknd. Yeah,
The Weeknd. I don't know what his voice sounds like.
Well, when they did the Stargirl interlude, it kind of sounds a little bit similar to their clash of voices in that, and then in this, it sounds a bit similar.
I only know Blinding Lights.
Oh god, but do we gotta analyze that now? I feel like that could be a lot of
3 a.m.
Yeah, that could be part of the 3 a.m. Guys, stay tuned to our 3 a.m. What are we calling it? Series 3 a.m. series called "Why Are You Still Awake?" It's coming to the Bookbinders
this summer.
Yeah, this summer.
It's gonna be so epic. Like 3 a.m.
We're putting it out this summer. Perhaps in a few weeks, along with the Midnight series that's going to be coming out simultaneously.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Alright, so back to Candy Necklace. Should we start with our one word?
One word, yeah. My one word was a phrase.
Okay.
What was it? Gay heartbreak. That was what it was.
Gay heartbreak.
Yeah.
I thought that was the other one.
Wait, no. Okay.
That's Margaret.
Yeah.
Guys,
we're
doing Margaret.
We're doing Margaret on the same day, and
Yeah.
I'm a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
Candy Necklace? I can't remember what I said.
What was your one word for Candy Necklace? That page
Toxic.
was so aggressive.
Yeah. It was toxic. My
it's
one
gonna
word
come
was
in the recording.
toxic. Oh, sorry to your ears. It was toxic.
Toxic, yes. Like a very toxic relationship. I
Oh
think
my God.
my one word was definitely almost like... So my one word was Candy Necklace, actually, because I thought it was very resemblant of the same... The whole song. Okay, for once, I feel like the song was actually about the title.
Oh.
Because our one words are kind of basically what we think the new title should be because it's our one word,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I feel like Candy Necklace is an amazing title for this song because it's literally about Candy Necklace in my mind.
Interesting.
Well, shall we start with the, what is it called? T-Cat?
TP cast.
TP Cast! Oh, okay, so title. Let's start with the title. Obviously there's the Urban Dictionary version of,
yeah.
Candy Necklace.
Yeah.
That
did not feature in my analysis. Let me just say.
Mine as well did not come at all, and nor will we be speaking about this on our PG-13 podcast. Anything else you would like to?
The title for me
say?
was symbolic of like fleeting fun. Fleeting fun.
Oh, okay. I feel like I kind of figured out a similar thing because to me, Candy Necklace was like almost freedom. It was like made... Okay, so candy necklaces versus a typical necklace that you might wear, like the one that you're wearing right now, it's like a gold little chain, versus a candy necklace. The candy necklace is like made to be thrown away. It's like a trash bag. Like, you make trash bags to throw them away. Like, that's what they're made for.
Controversial new opinion. Candy necklaces are literally trash bags.
Well, that's kind of the idea. So, candy necklaces... Well, the idea is that candy necklaces are almost this sense of freedom. Like, beautiful necklaces are precious little gems, while candy necklaces are just... candy, and like they're so cheap. They're like cheap thrills. So I mean, if you want a different cheap words, cheap thrills, because that's almost the idea of this. And I could definitely see this toxicity coming into this relationship upon it being a cheap thrill.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you would like to say about the title?
Title. My analysis was basically like it's symbolic of fleeting fun, cheap thrills.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
What was your initial impression of the song?
So, I think this was probably the first song I listened to. No.
Really?
Well, when the whole album came out, because the first one was Tunnel on Ocean Boulevard, and I remember really liking it. But we'll get into more of first impressions for that. Then we listened to A&W.
That
Then
one-
the Grands came out, but we were not very into the Grands, and I feel like we're still not into the Grands until we analyze it. So just wait for that.
Maybe the analysis
Yeah.
will change things.
Yeah, maybe I feel like it has a lot of similarities to Kintsugi and Fingertips, so we might end up liking it because I think we both. Well, I loved Fingertips, and I think you also loved Fingertips.
I love the analysis of it.
Yeah, analysis of Fingertips is amazing, but wait, what were we talking about?
We were talking about initial impressions.
When the actual album came out, when the whole thing came out, this was the first one I listened to as a new song, and I remember thinking like, whoa, I love that like part where she's like the incoherent piano where it's just like da, 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 when it suddenly like speeds up.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Why? Oh my god! And I feel like it shows like instability. And I remember listening to it. I was like, this song is going to mentally corrupt me. What were your first impressions?
My first impression was like, I like the piano part,
Piano part. That's exactly what we're talking about.
but I have this bad things with songs upon like my first listen. It either needs to be like so different from anything else I've ever heard, or it's gonna sound boring to me upon the first listen. But like after listening to it much more, it's not boring to me. Like I like
Yeah.
it much more now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Candy Necklace, the first time I listened to it, I was like, what fire, cinnamon on my... whatever the beginning first few lines are.
I can never understand the first few lines.
Yeah, the first
It was
few
just
lines
like,
are always so confusing. Yeah.
Like I can't hear it.
But I really like the part where she's like, Rockefeller,
That part was so
my
good.
umbrella,
That's like the first actual coherent part.
Yeah.
When you
Oh my
listen to
God.
it, because the rest is just like incoherent, high pitched, and it sounds good.
And I think when the John part came in, I was very confused. I was like,
Well, this is so deep.
That was so deep. And I mean, we could see a little bit of that in when we first heard him in the song. It was almost like a surprising moment because I feel like Lana. It reminded me a lot of Dealer because like Dealer, it's
The shock. It has
like
shock
Dealer,
factor
There is shock factor
because you don't expect.
Yeah, you don't expect like at the end like the little candy necklaces, and also it's so long. You said how many times was it?
She says candy necklaces 15 times at the end.
15 or 50?
15.
Okay. And she says, in Fine... Wait, how many times? Fine China. Tell me how many times she says what.
In Fine China, a previous unreleased song, she says 72 times at the end.
That you've done a lot of counting, Charlotte. That's quite a lot of counting. Now, what else do we have to talk about before we get into
What else do we say in the
intro? 8-minute intro.
Oh my god.
So that's
okay.
a horribly
Because we
long
kept
intro.
going on tangents.
And then we started talking on the Weekender.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with the first little chunk of it. We won't go lyric by lyric, but we'll start with the first chunk of it. White fire. What did you find via Google definition of white fire?
White fire. I didn't find anything for the Google. It was like
Really?
White Fire's this restaurant, I think, or it's a bar. Oh, it's a Californian cannabis store.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I found a totally different thing about it. I found that white fire is self-realization. Like, it's supposed to represent self-realization.
Interesting.
But I mean, it could go both ways, and
It
that's
wouldn't-
insane.
It wouldn't tell me like anything spiritual or like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we were thinking
metaphorical.
like something metaphorical.
Literally, I was trying to look for that, but they
Yeah.
didn't tell me anything. So it's a Californian cannabis store.
Oh, okay.
So,
And that fits in with cinnamon on my teeth, right?
because
Kind of.
cinnamon is a slang for cocaine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you have
Yeah.
cinnamon as?
I mean, well, so cinnamon on my teeth is. I feel like that's not to like now my life is sweet like cinnamon. Like,
Oh.
dream I'm living it. Anyway, but cinnamon on someone's teeth means that cinnamon is bitter, and unlike the last line, cinnamon is not sweet. Cinnamon is very bitter. So cinnamon on your teeth could imply there's like a bitter taste after having a certain conversation. So self-realization is realizing that like conversations are bitter in the XYZ relationship. And then
Interesting. I like that.
is there any analysis?
For mine, it's like White Fire is obviously the cannabis store, so she like
Yeah.
drives there,
Yeah.
and then what was it? Cinnamon on my teeth. It's like cocaine.
Yeah.
So like the whole first line to me is like doing drugs.
So is there any significance of doing drugs? This is like the
Well, the significance
fingertips.
is yeah.
Yeah.
It's more like doing drugs is like one of the many things that
Yeah.
happens when your life is just sort of
Interesting. It could. Oh my god! It could go both ways. It could definitely be going in both directions.
It could.
Because self-realization that your relationship is wrong is one thing, but then doing drugs in reaction to that, those are two things that correlate to each other.
Definitely.
So a lot of what Lana's work does is it has this double meaning. Yeah, and it's telling
it can go either way.
Like it's telling multiple stories, and that's why analysis is so important, because analysis is all about finding a personal story in someone else's work. And like I feel like even as a writer, she must be like so honored hearing so many different takes like on her writing.
When I write, that's what I want. I want people to like dissect my every word and find the meaning of it.
Yeah, precisely. And I'm sitting at a stoplight, northern town.
Northern town threw me for a loop because I googled the phrase northern town.
Yeah.
I was like, what? That doesn't mean anything, but I think it just refers to a northern town, or like in the northern part of town.
I could definitely see that, but in the music video, well, I mean, obviously I thought it was a northern town too, but in the music video, I can't remember what was the context or what even they were talking about, but someone was just like, Long Beach, and I was like, I wrote that here, I actually wrote in red, because what I did was I did all blue of the actual analysis, and then red, like, the music video. So we will be, like, briefly going over some of the little moments in the music video.
Oh, yeah, because they were talking about how Lana filmed a skater video in Long Beach.
Yeah, so I was like, does northern town refer to Long Beach? And so I'm sitting at a stoplight, northern town, and when you're at a stoplight, I feel like you're always contemplating. Like, a stoplight is a very contemplative kind of thing.
Like she said in her interview, I think it was for the Grants, like, she talked about some song in her new album in an interview. I think maybe it was Kintsugi, actually.
Okay.
And she's like, I want to sit at a stoplight and enjoy my time there.
Yeah. I feel like you're just thinking. It's great. It's a great point to, like, be reflecting. Because if you're in a car, right, you're kind of like either going away from something or going to something. So, and in this case, I feel like she's running away.
Oh.
What do you think?
Well, for the stoplight, I had her like, because I'm connecting it to the previous line, like they're doing drugs, and then she's like driving under the influence of all these drugs. So she's like on this high, and the reason that this whole, I don't know, paragraph or part of the song sounds so much like more positive, it has definitely like an undertone to it that feels very dark. Like the lyrics in the whole song have that kind of undertone, but the actual words themselves are much less dark, like very upfront dark than like what happens later.
And I mean, this is just like the easiness before the storm comes.
Exactly. The reason there's the like underlying darkness is because like drugs.
Yeah, it feels kind of eerie.
You can feel high and then still have that underlying darkness.
Yeah. And then I feel lucky.
This one is like a symptom of the high.
Okay.
To me.
Okay.
She feels lucky because she's high on these drugs, and then she's also got this person, Babe. Reoccurrence of Babe. You know.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out later.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Well, due to the previous line being white fire, which I realized was self-realization, I realized it was self-realization. I think I feel lucky can be like, I'm lucky that I had a self-realization to go. Like, and I feel like this is a moment where she's leaving. She's like, I'm getting out of here. And each verse is coming back to a different part of the story. And she's saying, I feel lucky, as in I feel lucky to be leaving this place. Like, I feel lucky to be in this northern town at Long Beach, like, away from the tunnel, away from the whole place. And once again, I'll be connecting everything back to the tunnel because this is the album. And then, do you want to move into the next line?
Alright, I drive somewhere out of range, I don't know where. So what did you say?
Okay. I mean, going into that, driving somewhere out of range, no one can reach you.
Yeah.
And I think, if we're calling that guy Babe, we're just gonna say that Babe can't reach her. And Babe can't get in contact with her because she views Babe as a burden. Well, we'll get more into why she views Babe as a burden and all of that. But if she's driving somewhere out of range, I don't know where. She doesn't know where. That means she doesn't care as long as she gets away from Babe.
Oh.
What about yours?
For this, I said that, like, the whole drive somewhere out of range don't really know where. It's like she's, like I said, high. And so she's not really, like, paying attention. Like you said, she doesn't really care where she's going. And then I tracked the distance between this Californian cannabis store that I had and then Long Beach. Venice. I tracked it to Venice, California, and it's 5 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
So, like, that's pretty far out of range. I think you could probably still get cell service. Like, in this narrative, you could get cell service at the cannabis store, but she maybe just is, like, driving somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I promise I'm not unfriended.
What?
That was so random. What did...
Hello? Protect the viewers. Protect the listeners.
Did we already say that once on a...
Did we?
I think so. I think we randomly brought it up.
But didn't we cut it out?
Did we? I think so.
Okay, it's fine. Whatever.
It was not audible enough.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's okay. You didn't need to hear anything about anything. Moving on to the next line. White noise coming out of my brain.
Yes.
That's it.
What? Yeah.
Definition of white noise.
White noise.
White noise. White noise. I feel like it's a lot of calmness. It's just like a buzz.
I find white noise stressful.
Do you? Why?
Yeah. Because it's so, like, repetitive and it's not coherent. It's just like white noise.
Well, so a theory that a lot of people talk about, not really a theory, but something that people talk about quite often, is the fact that not having something to do can induce anxiety in a lot of people, including me. And so having, like, no stress can be stressful.
Yeah, that's fun.
And so I think that's almost what this line is implying, including you. So white noise coming out of my brain, meaning she's emitting this white noise. She's being calm. And I feel like that's what she's experiencing with Babe. She's experiencing this calmness.
Unnerving calm.
Yeah, this unnerving calmness in this relationship, this no stress period. And she's like, what the heck? Like, where is my tension? Where is the conflict here? Like, I can't live a life like this.
Yeah. For this line, I said the white noise, it's like, I tied it back, because white noise is the sound that technology makes when it has no signal. Which is just interesting. Like, there's not really a significant...
Okay. I never thought about it like
there
that.
might be a significance to that that I just haven't read yet. And so her brain... Whoa. Her brain has no signal, too. Like... When she gets high, she's trying to turn off her brain signal because it's constantly running.
Yeah, like,
so, like,
stop thinking.
But stop thinking. That's what, in a lot of the songs in this album, we can see, like, she's just trying to stop thinking.
Yeah.
Like, what song is it? Something about Let the Light In.
Let the Light In.
You know, I'm not the kind of girl who can sleep.
Yeah.
Like, she just wants to turn off her brain.
Yeah.
So, like, by driving out of the signal, she wants to not have signal to her brain either.
Precisely.
And I think that's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
Like, driving out somewhere so you don't have that connection, you don't have all these thoughts swarming around in your head. Because some people make the mistake of thinking that it's like city life that makes his thoughts swarm, but it's just your thoughts.
Precisely. And then that goes into turn off for nothing.
Yeah.
I think that this line is just like, she doesn't like the fact. Well, she's turning it off for nothing. She's taking the choice to turn it off, leave it for nothing. Like, she doesn't, because if she's leaving it for Candy Necklace and Candy Necklace is nothing, then she's turning the white noise off for nothing. She's turning the stress on for a Candy Necklace. Your take.
I like that.
Your move.
This pawn to e4. No. Okay.
Ponty.
She, for this, turns off for nothing. It's like she's doing these drugs to turn off her brain, like I said, and she's trying to distance herself to turn off her brain and taking all these steps to, like, cut off the signal of her brain so it shuts up for, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's all she wants, but it doesn't. It doesn't turn off because this line sounds very annoyed. It's like it doesn't turn off.
Turns off for nothing.
It does. She's annoyed because it doesn't turn off. It doesn't resolve.
Yeah.
There's no peace.
Yeah.
When it's constantly running.
And then that goes into Rockefeller. Well, do you want to talk about anything else regarding this line?
No, I think that's the end of my analysis. For
Okay.
So,
Rockefeller, my umbrella. At first, I found this line so confusing.
And then I had a moment.
You had a moment? Okay. Well, so I don't want to spoil it in this first verse, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh.
I'm going to talk about it in the second. Sorry, I don't want to spoil it for the first chorus, because I want to talk about the candy necklace part first, before I talk about this prefacing pre-chorus kind of thing. But you can start.
Okay. So for this one, it's not Rockefeller, which is the person.
Yeah.
There's also a hip hop song with the same name, Rockefeller, like the I grew up on hip hop, but it also could just mean like it also, the definition of Rockefeller, it also just means like hip hop dude. You know, so out of all the things that I found, like all these various definitions were just like me trying to figure out what one fits best in the narrative. And for me, it's like for mine, it's like this rich dude who protects you, babe. And the protects you comes from the umbrella, because that's what an umbrella does. It protects you from the rain, and you don't want to get like rained on, because I mean, I like to get rained on, but a lot of people don't want to get rained on. If they like to get rained on, why would they have an umbrella in the first place?
I think I took this in a like super dark Delulu context.
Mine is also Delulu, but just
no,
like,
yours is not even that Delulu though.
It's randomly Delulu. It's like, what do you mean he protects her and buys her these drugs because he's rich? What?
Wait, so is your analysis about drugs?
Not all about drugs.
Okay.
I was just like very in
in the beginning.
In the beginning, it's like there's a lot of drugs. Actually, drugs might resurface because I honestly don't remember what happened.
Well, we're looking through it.
Yeah.
How is your analysis so neat?
I didn't go deep into this one. Like Margaret, I went deep.
Okay, so it's the opposite. I went really deep, and you went really deep into Margaret.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like
Margaret coming to you soon.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh yeah, white noise coming out. Turns out for nothing. God, I love you, baby. Okay. So
I didn't even know. Like, there's literally a blank spot for this one because I was just like,
okay, I have an interesting take on this. So I think it's just like being obsessively in love with someone, but he's treating you like a candy. Well, he's not treating you like a candy necklace, but he's treating you like a perfect little gem. And I think sometimes there is a conflict between wanting to be treated between like a perfect little protected little gem versus being this like raw, like apathetic version of this candy necklace, which is pretty much my whole analysis. But I feel like God, I love you, baby is like, I mean, well, it blends to the next line because she says storyteller, us forever. So she's like telling this story, and like she's telling up this story and cooking up this thing, and she's like, oh yeah, it's us for us forever, and she's putting on this like image, like God, I love you, baby. It's like this, like trying to be madly obsessively in love with someone, even though you're not. Okay.
Oh, I like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Like trying to overact to protect your real feelings that you don't love, babe.
Oh.
What was your analysis for this line?
Like I said, there was literally no analysis. Okay. I just took it very straightforward as like this. At this point, she just thinks she's in love, but later it's gonna come out that she's not in love. She's just obsessed.
So we're like resurfacing. Don't you dare see that you bring that. What?
What? Wait,
Fi-
really?
fishtail,
Fishtail? Wait,
fishtail.
that was so long ago. Now I
Yeah.
can't even remember.
It was so long ago.
Was that my
like
analysis
March,
of fishtail?
April. No, I feel like it was just like being obsessively in love with someone.
Maybe.
Or maybe was that sweet?
No, I don't
God,
think
we
it was
can't even remember.
It might have been. What's the Victorian with you? You can.
That is
stay.
fishtail. You wanna be Saturday? Don't
Oh.
you dare.
All right.
Hey.
Wait, what was your analysis of the thing that was like medieval Game of Thrones? Was that also fishtail?
No, that was the other one.
Which one is that?
Everybody wants to rule the world. That was that. Remember?
Yeah, but I feel like there was another one where you were like, fish. The braid means power.
Oh
and then
yeah,
when you cut off-
no, but that was
What was that?
Peppers. Cause
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the
Oh,
Angelina
yeah.
Jolie Tomb
Oh my
Raiders.
Wow,
Yeah.
we've analyzed so much that. I
Yeah,
can't
we've
tell.
analyzed so many songs, and like you guys, we're gonna be posting so much now because we have previously analyzed a lot, and we are still yet to put it on our YouTube. So it's coming to you soon, very very soon, and we're not just doing Lana. We're going to be branching out a lot
Yep.
more.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, Tears for Fears, lots of 80s music
Oh
because
my
we're
God,
kind
I
of
love
in 80s music. But honestly, just put recommendations and we'll analyze it. Going on to the next line, Storyteller, Us Forever. I kind of went over that, but I'm gonna let you go first because mine ties more into the next line.
Okay, so in this, she's the storyteller through her music.
Mm-hmm.
The like whole love song she's
Mhm.
talking about in I don't know what was the last. Let the light in.
Right.
Like stay and write a love song with me. Like she's the storyteller. She writes the love songs, and the love song that they've written together, that love song, that is basically their story together as like being in love. I'm doing air quotes because you can't see.
Yeah, in
Why do I
love.
sound so monotone right now? It's like a monotone duck.
Well, we did
Whatever.
so many presentations today.
Yeah.
so.
Is her favorite. Like she loves the relationship that is like the us
Mhm.
forever.
Yeah.
But does she? She loves the
Does she?
relationship,
Does
but
she?
does she love Babe? Question.
Okay, so that kind of goes into what I'm going to be telling you guys about.
Mhm.
So I feel like I'm giving a presentation. Oh my god,
It's
this
blame
is our
the
casual-
science fair.
Yeah, blame the science fair that we had to do today. It was very enjoyable.
Blame that random
very
junior.
fun. Yeah, juniors who love to grade us harshly, but you know he gave some great criticism that was very advantageous to projects that we'll do in the future. Alas, hate to digress. Storyteller is someone who makes up stories, because if you're a storyteller, when is it not going to be there without the theatrics? I feel like stories are so theatrical,
Yeah.
and I feel like she's like telling this like very theatrical version where she's like, oh, we're
Oh.
so in love, we're so
Oh.
in love, I love him so much, like he loves me. And I think Us Forever, because okay, Us Forever goes right into the next line because she says it's my favorite song, or did she say that's my favorite song?
Is my favorite song.
Yeah, it's my favorite song. So she says Us Forever is my favorite song.
Yeah, exactly.
But like she says Us Forever, pauses, then she says is my favorite song, which means that she's like saying like, yeah, it's Us Forever, and then she's like behind the back is my favorite song. Like she's
Like,
not
songs-
telling him.
She's not saying like actually us
Yeah,
forever.
Us Forever, but she's
She's
like,
like-
well, that's just my favorite song.
Yeah.
Like I never said that.
She
was
likes
Us
the
Forever.
story of it. She
Yeah.
likes the storyline. She likes the way that it sounds.
But like
But does she actually love Babe?
Us Forever, is it really Us Forever?
Yeah, it's not us. Like, favorite songs,
Yeah.
we are testaments to the fact that favorite
Yeah.
songs change so much. Literally, my favorite song yesterday was not what it is today.
What is it today?
Today, it's a piece. It is 8 minutes into the Sibelius Violin Concerto first movement. Because there's like an epic cello part.
Oh,
It's like da 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 da. It's so
okay.
so
And
random.
what was it yesterday?
Yesterday was back to December.
Okay, that's a chaotic progression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that we are the testament of
So,
that.
like-
Perhaps.
Us Forever. It's not actually.
Is it really Us Forever?
She likes the idea and sound of Us Forever, but it's not actually Us Forever.
Precisely. And then she also says, "That's my favorite song. You've been acting pretty restless." Yeah, you've been acting pretty restless, and I feel like this line is, hold on, I'm going to like look closely at my notes. Okay, so I mean, this person who she's talking to is like very restless in their relationship. This person is like longing for the other person, Lana, to cooperate, but Lana is not cooperating as this like beautiful gem. Rather, she's cooperating as her own person, which is a candy necklace. She wants to be disposed. Like, she wants to be this disposable, but, like, still I feel like candy necklaces are, like, a one-time joy. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Candy necklaces are, like, that one thing that you're just like, oh, I want it.
It's
and then
like
you have it.
You get a candy necklace and then you just
like,
eat it.
Yeah, and
or
then you just eat it.
You leave it on your neck until it, like, melts into your skin and then you throw it away. Little me was too sentimental to eat candy necklaces.
I've never had one.
So I just, really?
Yeah.
I suppose I've had Fruit Loop necklaces. And I was like, but it's so pretty and I don't want to eat it. And then it got disgusting, so I threw it away.
We should go get candy necklaces.
We should.
Oh, we're just kidding. What is the point of a candy necklace?
I don't
without
know.
the metaphorical meaning?
I don't know.
I'm not really sure. But anyway, she's like, this guy is forcing her to be a not candy necklace. He's restless about it. He's like, be a candy necklace in the middle of the night, 2 a.m. He's like, be a beautiful gem. Don't be a candy necklace. Stop it. Be quiet. Whatever. And she's like, no, I will not be quiet. I want to be like unique. I want to be rough like a little candy necklace. And it's almost like this very theatrical, dramatic story. What do you have to say about this?
So for this, like, you've been acting pretty restless. It's like she notices an uneasy, tense, anxious ocean.
So once again, what do you think about you've been acting pretty restless?
So I had it as like she notices some sort of tense, uneasy anxiousness in Babe that, like, she doesn't really understand. So does it mean that Babe is constantly... So basically, Babe is, like, ill at ease in a sort of... I don't know how to explain it. Like, constantly wants to do stuff with Lana and, like, dance and party and do drugs because they're not young anymore and life is short.
Yeah.
And so he just wants to, like, make the most of it and he's restless to do all this stuff.
Right. Okay, so moving on to the next line. You've been acting pretty restless.
And then dancing like the young and restless.
So I think she's saying that I'm dancing like the young and restless because she's restless and she's young and she's restless and she wants to keep her youthfulness and spend it on something else. Spend it on being this diamond in the rough rather than specifically just a diamond. And what did you think of it?
I sort of paired it with, like, pretty restless. One thing I noted is that she says restless twice.
Yeah.
And that's... Yeah. It's like the dog line.
Yeah, I felt it so weird.
I hate it when people rhyme the same word.
Yeah. Like, it's
like the dog line. It's just, like, disorienting. And maybe that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe that was supposed to cause the kind of discomfort that she's feeling in this sort of, like...
That's a great point you make there.
The restlessness, like, I had this as Babe is dancing, like, the young and restless, like, together. He's sort of this, like, constant motion, like her brain.
Right.
And she's trying to, like, give herself some space, take a moment, you know, to relax and figure things out.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's not, and but she wants to turn off her brain. And meanwhile, Babe is just, like, constantly trying to do things quicker or faster and, like, do so much stuff.
Yeah, that goes into the next line. Would you like to move on to the next line?
Yeah. And I'm obsessed.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with it. So I think she's up to escape and to be this, like, candy necklace rather than be his beautiful gem when she dances.
Interesting. I like that. For this I had it's like she loves the frantic energy because she also knows that, like, life is short and so you have to do something fun.
Yeah.
So she's, like, doing this she's doing all these immature things with Babe.
Right.
Because it doesn't last forever.
Yeah.
Right? And you have to do something to stop your mind from thinking and distract yourself, like you said. Very much a distraction. That's why she's obsessed with it, not she loves it. She's obsessed with it, which is very different.
And I'm obsessed with this.
candy necklace.
Candy necklaces. And I think that also ties into, I mean, obviously I'm obsessed with it. Ties into the next line. She's obsessed with candy necklaces. Now, that also leads into the theory of someone being a candy necklace. So I think this guy, Babe, whoever she's with, he has multiple side chicks.
Oh.
That's my theory.
Interesting.
And, like, I think a lot of these famous men have women all on their sides, and some of these women are particularly candy necklaces, and some of them are the ones to show off. And Lana is his one to show off, while he has all of these other ones that are just specifically to be loved, rather than to be, you know, to be like a candy necklace, like a side chick. Like, she wants his love, but then she doesn't want to just be shown off. She wants truly him. So she says, I'm obsessed with it. Candy necklaces. She's talking about the girls, referring back to the line, dancing like the young and restless. She's talking about the girls who are the candy necklace. I'm obsessed with those girls. I'm obsessed with being them. I'd rather be them. And that's why I'm kind of, you know, obsessed with it.
Yeah, I get that. And for this one, I said something quite similar, I think. Because, I mean, we both established that we had similar definitions of a candy necklace.
Right.
And for this, it's like, the things that they're doing are like short-term fun,
Right.
like that short-term high, just like drugs,
Yeah.
and like the dancing and the alcohol and anything that they're doing, it's short-term and fleeting, but it's fun. And that's basically the definition of Babe. He's a short-term fling, he's fleeting, but he's so fun, and that's why she's obsessed with it.
Right. And that goes
Like
into
candy necklaces.
Oh yeah, like a candy necklace. And that goes into, once again, you've been acting pretty reckless.
Dancing
Reckless.
like the young and restless.
Dancing like the young and reckless. So, once again, you've been acting pretty reckless is just a nod to the fact that I feel like she's talking about herself. Like, I'm acting reckless for not being in your lines. Like, she's telling the guy, like, I feel like this is like a dialogue. Like, you've been acting pretty reckless. And she's like, yeah, dancing like the young and reckless. She's trying to be like one of those girls. But then she says, I'm obsessed with this. All of his candy necklaces. Referring back to those girls. All of his candy necklaces.
Oh.
So what do you think?
I like the whole, the girls are candy necklaces thing. For this, you've been acting pretty reckless. Like, all the restlessness, it's turning into recklessness. Because Babe is searching for some more of everything, honestly. More thrills, cheap thrills, more energy, more passion, more something to distract him, and that's what she's obsessed with. It's leading to recklessness because you have to be reckless to get more of that stuff.
And I think another thing that's, another thing that we should mention right now is that in the music video itself, there are a lot of women that Lana depicts in the music video. She depicts Marilyn Monroe, and I think later in the music video, she depicts Priscilla Presley. And I think all of these women are great examples of people who are gems, but really who are candy necklaces. So I think that's the whole idea. Like, I don't want to be a candy necklace. I want to be a gem. Like, no, sorry, the other way around.
Oh, you don't want to be a gem,
you want to be a candy necklace. I want to be a candy necklace. So I think that's the idea. I'm obsessed with it. Candy necklaces.
For this, I'm obsessed with all his candy necklaces.
Right.
It's like she's obsessed with the relationship of frantic fun, like before. And all of the fun, like, sweet tasting.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sweet tasting, but, like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, on the mental palate, it leaves a sweet taste. Things about him, it gives her a dopamine boost.
Right.
Like that metaphorical dopamine boost. Or maybe it is a actual chemical dopamine boost, like sugar does.
Like a candy necklace.
Yeah.
You took it very literally. Oh my god. I think another thing that we should point out here is that Dancing Like the Young and Restless could be referring to Lizzie, because when you're young and you're restless, it's giving this Lizzie
Brand,
it's giving this Lizzie connotation, like almost referring back to what Lizzie was like and some of the acts that she did. She's like, I wish I was that candy necklace again. Like, I remember how I was when I was a candy necklace, but now I'm a gem. People view me as this gem, but that's not me, that's not who I am.
I'm still Candy Necklace.
I'm still a Candy Necklace, because I feel like she's like always associated with these men and etc. etc. But do you want to move on, or is there anything else we want to say about the chorus?
We can move on. So,
Okay.
sitting on a sofa feeling super suicidal.
Okay, well, sitting on a sofa is quite casual. It's something you just do. You just sit on a sofa, you don't think about it. But feeling super suicidal, refers to the fact that you feel like you're doing something like casual and you're just lounging, but then suicidal. It's like, it's very, it's just like random, and it's like, oh, I'm so stuck. Like, the only option that I have is suicide.
Yeah. And the way she just says it, it's very light. Like, the whole relationship, it's one of those things where it's, like, either very light words, but you can feel there's, like, a darker, heavier meaning.
Right.
Or very, what are typically heavy, dark words, but it's mentioned so lightly. And this is one of the heavier things mentioned so lightly cases.
Right.
Like you said, sitting on a sofa, it's so casual. It's so normal. It's something that people do every day. And so is feeling super suicidal. I mean, ultimately. And this is symbolic of, like, that very down moment that I was talking about way back at the beginning, in the first analysis of, like, doing drugs. And then you get that superficial high.
Right.
And now this is, like, the down that accompanies that.
Yeah. That goes straight into the next line. I hate to say the word, but hands on the Bible, I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good connection to the fact that she's saying, like, I feel I'm in this relationship. I hate to say this. I hate to say that I do. And I do is a phrase that's generally used when you get married. You say, I do. Person says, I do, whatever. But, like, she's, like, almost stuck. She's trapped in this relationship. She's like, I don't want to be married to you. I don't want to be in a relationship with you. But I have to say I do.
Yeah. And for the hate to say the word, but hand on the Bible, I do. Like, it is such a heavy word for this relationship, because the relationship is so superficial. It's like a house of cards, almost. Or, like, it's very lightweight.
Right.
It's, the whole point of it is it's supposed to be a fun distraction.
Yeah. But it's, like, getting serious. Like, it's like, hold up.
Using that heavy word and, like, and caring about all the things that come with that heavy word, all of the complex emotions, it's not what this relationship was intended to be about.
Right.
It's too heavy. They don't, like, complement each other well. It would mean that there were strings attached in a relationship that's not supposed to be strings attached.
Right.
It would mean having to, like, put in a lot more effort than just, like, doing random fun stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all valid, and then that's going into, what's the next line?
Feel like it's you, the one who's bringing me down.
Right, because she's now tied into this relationship, because she's tied with Babe, she's like, oh, you're holding me back from my Candy Necklace potential. Candy Necklace, once again, is the depiction of the potential of a star who's not there for the stardom, but rather there for the raw, like, what's the word for it? Raw, like, normalness of a person who is a star, but it's, like, raw. So, yeah, what did you think about you're the one bringing me down? Like,
the whole point is, Babe is the thing that's causing the high, because, like, he's the Candy Necklace, he's the reason for the, like, the dopamine boost that causes, like, brains to feel happy. That's a superficial version of that is what's in a lot of drugs. I think that's what causes the high. So Babe he's causing the superficial high, and because he's doing that, of course there's always a downside. There's going to be lows, like, and lower lows increasingly. And so because there's nothing in this relationship with Babe, because it's so superficial, then she's being brought down by that. Because ultimately it's not really sustainable to just have a no strings attached relationship.
Yeah. And then she says, thought that we were cool and we were kicking it like Tribe Called Quest.
So what did you say for that?
Well, Tribe Called what? Tribe Called Quest.
Mm-hmm.
Tribe Called Quest made a song called Kicking It, which is just like a little hip hop jam.
Oh, they did.
And it's supposed to be like a cool little like song about like fun and like being cool and stuff. So I think it's just like emphasis on like, oh yeah, we're cool. It's just a fun way to be like, oh yeah, we're cool in a relationship.
Yeah.
So what did you say?
I said a similar thing. So like, she didn't see a problem with it. Thought that we were cool. Like, there's no problem. There, at least for a time, there no problems arose. It was just like almost one of those
like
too good to be true situations where there's no downside of this because you get to have fun and you get to have the like someone there, but without the like emotional attachment that leads to heartbreak.
Right.
And the whole kicking it, I took it as a double meaning because I didn't know that they had a song like a song called Kicking It, but I took it as a double meaning of like she thought that they were having fun kicking it in terms of like carefree, just like kicking whatever, like the rap group at its high point, but then also there's a double meaning of like kicking it as in the death connotation of a rap group that disbanded.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point that you make there. And then we were kicking it like Tribe Called Quest.
You the best.
But baby, you've been bringing me down. Yeah, so she's kind of saying once again, like, you treat me like this gem, you treat me so well, like, in front of the press, but, like, you're bringing me down. You're not letting me be myself.
I like your metaphor of the gems and the candy necklaces.
Well, I kind of got that from the music video in the point. Yeah. At the end of the music video, where they start dropping candy necklaces and dropping all the jewels.
And then the blood.
Yeah, and the blood, and, like, the jewels went into the blood, and I was like, candy necklace versus jewels, and she wore this, like, beautiful necklace, and the necklace fell off, and then it was, like, flashing to this point where it was Priscilla Presley, and, like, it was flashing to this moment where she had a candy necklace on. Yeah. That comes towards the end. We'll talk more about that at the end.
For this, I said, like, she's obsessed with him. That's what the You the Best is. Like, it's not that she loves him per se, it's just like that obsession that we were talking about. So she's obsessed, but she also can see that like they're not right for each other.
Yeah.
And so there is that awareness, like the self-evaluation that you were talking about. The whole I can see it now, which is the next line.
And then she says that I can see it now, which, I mean, obviously she's now seeing it. She's now seeing that, like, hey, this is not what I want. I want this. I want to be this candy necklace. And then in your context.
Oh, my context. Yeah. I can see it now is, like, the fact that she can see that it's not fun anymore. That it's
precisely
damaging to her, actually.
Right. And then she says...
The pre-chorus again.
Pre-chorus. Wait. Rockefeller, Rockefeller, my umbrella. Okay. So, now I will actually talk about my thoughts for this line. And I have some morbid, interesting thoughts. So, Rockefeller. I just took it by Rockefeller, the person. Yeah. And I oddly Googled his wife. Because I was thinking about perhaps his candy necklaces or his gems, and his wife died from a heart attack, but apparently she did like a bunch of stuff, and like I think she got a memorial, something like that. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know exactly what she did, but obviously she had a funeral and whatever it was, but this girl could have had so much potential. She was a gem. She wasn't a candy necklace. She was a gem. So Lana's kind of saying in this point, like, Rockefeller, this girl who's a gem, his wife, but that's kind of what you are. You are kind of being a Rockefeller right now. And then my umbrella, she goes to the funeral. She's like, my condolences, as if she's that girl. She's like saying like, oh, I died, but I died as a gem. Like, she's going to that person's wedding. The girl's funeral. She's going to that girl's funeral, Rockefeller's wife's funeral, and she's holding her umbrella, which is like a funeral thing. Yeah, a funeral kind of scene. She's like, Rockefeller, my umbrella, and she's like there, present for the death of that gem to become a candy necklace.
Interesting.
That was kind of what I thought.
Interesting.
I feel
That's good.
delulu. I feel so delulu.
No, that's not delulu. That's good.
Okay. Yeah. Rockefeller, my umbrella. God, I love you, baby. And I feel like, yeah, just repetition of that.
Okay, fortune teller, favorite ever.
Wait, isn't it Us Forever?
No, us forever is the first one, right?
No, wait. So fortune teller. What does it say?
Favorite ever.
Favorite ever.
Fortune teller, favorite ever. That's the story of us.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
think so.
Well, I'll reanalyze it in my head right now.
Okay.
Why don't you start?
Okay, so for fortune teller, it's like, that's in my analysis of this, like, she's the fortune teller because she has that, like, sort of natural intuition that some people have, where she can, like, now that she can see, I can see it now, she can see what's happening, and that Babe is, like, bringing her down and not good for her in this relationship. But Babe is, it's like favorite ever. Babe is her favorite in terms of not actual favorite. It's hard to explain. Like, she's saying favorite ever, but it's not like my favorite person. It's not seriously like he's the favorite person she's ever dated. It's more like she is obsessed with him. She really likes him, and that's why favorite ever. It's like, it's just like, God, I love you. She's just saying that.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of took it in a similar way. She says, God, I love you. And I think that's, like, so empty. And then I feel like she's, like, the fortune teller is telling her, like, oh, God, I love you. Like, she's telling her, like, that, like, oh, yeah, you guys love each other so deeply. But she feels, like, longing. She's like, what does that mean? And then she's, like, sarcastically, favorite ever. And then she says, that's the story of us. Like, the story of us is I'm longing, but you're longing, and we're longing for different things. I'm longing to get out. You're longing for me to come back in.
Yeah.
And, I mean, would you like to move on to the next line?
Yep. The next line is the chorus, right?
Yeah.
I just put chorus. But
yeah.
Okay.
I put pretty much chorus too. But I noticed that she switches at this point. And, like, this is the point where she realizes. This is the point where she's like, oh shoot, like the switch. This is the switch point where she's like, you've been acting pretty restless. I was like, for real. So, like, yeah.
Like, she took her glasses off.
Yeah, she took her glasses off. And she says, like, I'm obsessed with it, but she can't have that relationship. She can't be that candy necklace that she's wanted to be. So she say, I'm obsessed with it, but that's what she can't be. And then, and then I noticed in the chorus she also said, when she said acting like the young and restless, she almost said that, like, admittingly. She was like, acting like the young and restless. So I felt like she was, like, almost like, yeah, like, more apathetically. She was kind of saying that. And the significance of that is that she almost, like, doesn't care anymore, and she's almost going crazy.
Oh, interesting. So there's madness involved.
There's madness, for sure. Always madness.
I didn't analyze the first part of this, like, the whole acting pretty restless, because it means the same thing to me here. It's like, just now there's more urgency, because she can see it even clearer than she could before. And now she knows that it's bad. Like, before she could see that Babe was restless, and she was like, oh, I'm obsessed with it. Now it's like, well, I'm obsessed with it, and that's a bad thing. And then, I think we should address this.
Oh, yes. I think that we should address this. And it reminded me a lot of,
Sweet,
no.
right? Was it sweet?
It's fishtail.
It's always fishtail.
It's the part where it's like, I've got problems that we should address another day. Sip softly into rain.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah, that thing. But yeah, she says, where does she say? I think we should.
Right after, it's in the second chorus.
My thing is such a mess. I can't even find it.
I don't know, because I just wrote chorus, and then I think that we should address this.
Yeah, I kind of wrote that too. I found it. Yeah, I'm obsessed with a candy necklace. I think that we should address this. Acting like the... Okay, so I think that we should address it. I believe that it means something like... Well, when she says, I think that we should address this, it's like... we should talk about these issues. Like, I want you to understand that I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to leave you. We're in this, like, relationship. We always say the I do's. But, like, she's like, I don't want to cheat on you. Like, I don't want to leave you like that. Like, that's not my intention.
Yeah.
But that's ultimately what she has to do.
Oh. For mine, I said that she doesn't want to, like, leave the fleetingness of the relationship undiscussed. Because she can see, because she's the fortune teller, that that's going to lead her down a bad path. But at the same time, she also understands that, like, if they talk about the fleeting relationship, then it suddenly becomes a much more serious relationship.
Right.
Whereas just, like, ignoring it and having fun.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe Babe doesn't know that it's not a long-term thing. Maybe Babe is, like, somehow not as insightful as her and can't see that you can't just have a long-term relationship that's only fun and no emotional attachment.
Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, we can... Oh, there was another thing that I was saying. At the end of the first part of the chorus, she says, all his candy necklaces. And then in the music video, she plays with her pretty necklace. And I think that's, like, her, like, longing once again. That's her, like, all his candy necklaces. And she's like, oh, my God, all his candy necklaces.
Yeah. So I think for your analysis, it's very much like she wants to be the candy necklace.
Yeah.
But for mine, it's very much like Babe is the candy necklace.
He is the candy necklace.
Like, she just likes to use Babe for fun. And there's no sentimental value in it.
Toxicity.
Yeah, you just eat the candy and then toss it in the trash can, like you said.
I think yours makes a lot more sense.
And then...
That's why we're putting our brains together.
Yeah, well, like, together, it's always the best analysis when you put
it's
them
always
together.
the best analysis.
So she, like, uses Babe until Babe isn't fun anymore. And then she, like...
Yeah.
Throws it away because there's not supposed to be that sentimental attachment.
And I can definitely see that because pretty much, like, all of the women that she depicts, Priscilla Presley, Elvis dies, and, like, Marilyn Monroe, we could see that her, JFK, rumored. I mean, Marilyn Monroe, she had a lot of rumors, but, yeah, we can see that in multiple situations. And then, basically, the song is pretty much over at this point because she just repeats candy necklaces a bunch of times. And then she says, I'm obsessed with this. And I think the whole overarching theme of the story is just her, well, for me, it's just her longing to have this, like, point where she can shine like a candy necklace.
Oh.
That's precisely my thing.
Interesting. The overarching theme for mine is, like, this superficial relationship with the toxicity, and where it's almost like in a lot of the other things it's been like the Babe has been the one that's causing the toxicity, but now it's like her because she's just using Babe as a candy necklace and just using him for fun. I made the music video notes separate actually.
Oh, is there anything you would like to talk about?
I just like all the things in the music video that were different from the song. I put like the vintage aspect of the thing to make it like usually Lana music videos are very aesthetic.
They are.
But in this it showed like the superficialness of the aesthetic. Just like the relationship. It's fake. Yeah. And for fun.
I feel like mostly she romanticizes these various like filters and like the life of like living in these vintage eras. But
and they keep doing like silly immature little things. Like they drop the cutscene thingy and then like John Baptiste like walks up the stairs and makes a weird face. Yeah. And it's just like the immaturity in their relationship. And then at one point she's like, I don't know how to not be a robot. Yeah, and that one, it's like she's stuck in this emotionless loop of her relationship with no passion. Yeah, and I think there's another point in the music video where she's like, no, seriously, get out, or something. Yeah, she says something like that. Yeah. And I think that they're almost, like, that's, like, the cut to the serious part where she's like, the white fire, their self-realization. Yeah. It's like, get out. Yeah, and then she's like, the women in films who have changed themselves for the finished project. That's what she was showing at some point. Like, doing all that. And showing the behind-the-scenes footage is like showing that this glamorous perfection isn't real. So don't base your life on trying to achieve the glamorous perfection you see on screen. Just like candy necklace relationships are not sustainable and not real. So don't, like, base your life on trying to have a candy necklace or fun relationship
Right.
because it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And then you know that old man who keeps like reappearing, like Godfather
Oh yeah,
man?
yeah, the Godfather kind of.
I
man
thought
who's
he
staring
stood
at her.
for time.
time.
Like
Okay.
Like,
Why?
like at the end particularly, it gets more frantic. Like you cut to him, and
Yeah.
then you cut to Lana Del Rey doing like things in different costumes
Yeah.
of the women, and then you cut to the candy necklace and the jewels falling. So like over time, all of them they like fall. Over time, all relationships will of it. Well, that's so pessimistic. No, in the end of time, it doesn't matter whether your relationship is candy necklace or real jewels. It all falls
Right.
in the eyes of time.
Mm-hmm.
However, candy necklaces fell first.
Okay. That's very interesting. I think it's also notable that at the end we see her getting her star on the Walk of Fame,
Yeah.
and I think that should almost imply that even candy necklaces can be gems, because I think getting a star is very candy necklace independent woman kind of thing. And then, but she's such a star because it literally is a star. So are there any other final thoughts, or shall we get into ratings?
I think we should get into ratings. That was the
Okay.
extent of my final.
So, final rating?
So, analysis rating 7.
Okay. What about, sorry, for me, analysis rating, I really liked this analysis, even though I felt like now compared to yours, I feel like, is my
No, your analysis was really good compared to mine. Mine was so
mine is
so random. Like what?
Mine is also random. It's also so delulu.
I kept forgetting to connect mine back. Like I'd start analyzing the metaphorical and then forget to analyze, like connect it to the real world, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna give the whole analysis like a 8.8. Yeah. And then
Song.
Song?
What's your rating of the song?
7.8.
Oh yeah.
What is your?
I was gonna say 7.2.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
pretty
like,
close.
pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, fairly close. 0.06, right? I can't math right now.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. There's like a small difference that I can't.
Yeah, small difference.
I don't know. It's small.
Yeah, not even half a point. A little bit more than half a point. But that's besides the point. Anyway.
Yes.
That's all we have for you today.
Yeah. Always
Thank you for listening.
overthinking.
Yeah, and please drop anything you guys want us to analyze next in the comments.
Yep.
And we shall see you in Margaret. Farewell,
Margaret.
Margaret.
It didn't.
Oh.